What's up, guys? Welcome back to Down the Weeble Hole. Today we have a video of a series that I watched a long time ago that Jake recently caught up to as well. Well, for the most part, hasn't watched season 3, but we're doing a certain magical index.
Hello, everyone.
What's up?
What's up?
And this episode will strictly be a certain magical index. We'll have another episode for a certain scientific railgun, and we'll probably also do eventually another episode for season 3 of Index, which just finished airing at the time of recording this. But Jake hasn't watched it yet,
Yeah.
so we can't really talk about it. But we'll at least get season 1 and 2 of Index done on this one, and Railgun on the next one. So let's start
with our initial thoughts.
Let's give people some context. Let's talk about what this series is about.
No, I think we should give what we think about the series so far.
I think it's a good series.
I think it's good as well.
Yeah, I
think it's like an average series.
I think it's something that you can easily get invested in, and that I know that there are a lot of diehard fans. Is
Really?
what I've heard. Yeah, is that it's not a huge fan base compared to other anime.
Yeah.
But the fans that the series does have are like you cannot tell them that the series is bad. Essentially, they're like super laser focused.
Well, if you're waiting 10 years for season 3, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
You would be happy.
Yeah, and the fact that we actually got one was insane. But
That is crazy.
Yeah. But to give you guys some context on the series itself, basically it's I want to take a comparison from another YouTuber. What he said about the series, it's kind of like the Marvel universe of anime. It's a very sort of convoluted, a little bit confusing series at times, but it really covers like a lot of different aspects. It's this magical and scientific world that are sort of meshing. And the primary focus of the series is on a specific city called Academy City, where there's just basically schools everywhere, and is made up of espers. And what espers are extrasensory powers, right? That's what it stands for, ESP. And basically they are able to conjure into existence abilities for themselves just through sheer imagination. So the idea is, the best way to describe it is the example that they use is that it's like Schrodinger's cat.
They love bringing up Schrodinger's cat in every anime these days.
Do. Yeah. But this one specifically makes a lot of sense. The way that they give you the breakdown is basically, if you don't know what Schrodinger's cat is, it's basically you have this cat in a box, and at any given moment the cat could either be alive or dead, right? It's really, it comes down to what you think is in the box. Mm-hmm. And if you can imagine yourself having like superhuman powers or like some kind of scientific ability, right? Then it would come into existence. It's all based on thought, right? Every ability that every character has in Academy City is their ability to imagine themselves having said ability is what gives them also their level. There's a level system in Academy City for these espers. So the series mainly follows a level 0, which is essentially somebody with no power.
Yeah.
And his name is Tomokami Joe.
It turns out he has the most OP power out of anyone.
I wouldn't say it's the most OP, but it's extremely useful for the situations that he finds himself in, let's just say. So his ability is called Imagine Breaker. Essentially, his right arm is able to cancel out any Esper ability,
yeah, as
well as magic.
Yeah,
as we find out later in the series. So it's quite useful. Or not later. I think it's as of episode 2. As soon as Style shows up, he's able to cancel out his fire.
Episode 1, Mikasa shoots lightning at him.
But that's an Esper ability. But then we find out he can also use it on magic in episode 2. So quick breakdown of his ability. So we follow this kid, and a nun suddenly appears on his porch. This young nun, and her name is Index. The series is named after her.
Yeah.
And essentially what she is she's a memory bank for, I think it's like 110,000 grimoires, which are these like books with forbidden texts, mm-hmm. and she holds them all in her brain. A lot of her memory capacity is dedicated to these grimoires. So he meets her, and she has like two friends that are looking for her because they need to get a hold of her.
Yeah.
And she like fell out of the sky one day. And these friends of hers are Style and Kanzaki, who we meet in the 2 following episodes. They're members of the Church of Necessarius, which is short for Necessary Evil. So they pretty much control the Index and the grimoires. So they need to get a hold of her because her memory's about to like run out, right? Because she has a limited memory capacity, supposedly, and it's about to run out. And Toma obviously starts to get close with her and starts to try to like save her essentially, and he does, but it's at the cost of his own memory. And this is the first thing I want to talk about.
I feel this was incredibly rushed.
Yes.
Like, it's like, hi, we're best friends. I love you. And now, let me save your life.
Yeah. But that's Toma. That's the thing. That's Toma, as we see time and time again in the series. He's a warrior of justice.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah. He's too much.
Yeah.
That's my biggest complaint about Toma is, like, he's too much of a good guy.
Exactly, yeah.
And he wants to help everyone he meets.
But he hits women indiscriminately.
Yeah. At least that.
Yeah. But like, he just does whatever he wants, sort of thing, though. It's like, he has his own right and wrong, which is, and he decides it for himself. Mm-hmm. So he is an interesting character to that extent.
I don't think he's bad.
I don't think he's bad.
I just think he's kind of boring.
Yeah, he's a little bit boring. He is funny. I do like. Yeah. I do like the comedic bits that he has. Mm-hmm. But the series basically initiates as soon as he loses his memory as a result of saving Index.
Okay.
And now that's something that I want to talk about because it's supposed to be the super important plot point.
Yeah.
That Toma has lost his memory and from now on he will not remember what happened prior to this moment. Thus he has to re-meet Index, he has to re-meet Misaka, Style, Kanzaki, all of them. But he does it, like, flawlessly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's like, oh.
And nobody notices that he's lost his memory. Absolutely nobody. And he's the same fucking person.
Yeah, he's exactly the same.
Nothing about him changes.
This didn't need to be in the story at all.
Well, I feel like it's, like, leading up to something.
I hope so.
But, because... Well, this is the thing, is that you haven't seen Season 3. So there's something important mentioned with his memory loss. But the most important thing about him is definitely his right arm. That's what pretty much guides the series. It's not so much his memory loss. That's kind of like something that was tossed.
Yeah, and I think that's a really cool power to, like, introduce into a story.
Yeah, for sure.
To make your main character just cancel out other people. So he just uses his fists to fight.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
He makes every fight equal, as long as he gets to grab onto you.
So pretty much everything else is happening around him. And this is what I really like, is that the direction of the story doesn't focus always on Toma. It's not, like, laser focused on him, to the point where it's just like, oh, well, he's just going to cancel something out and he's going to fight with his fists. Because the story shifts to other characters constantly, and you see their battles and their struggles and their storylines, and they don't have this cancel ability, right? This imagine breaker. So you actually see some pretty epic fights at some points. So that's pretty much the premise of the series. Yeah. We're going to talk about specific arcs that we enjoyed and that we felt were important to the story. So I think the first one that we already pretty much covered, like the Church of Necessarius and like Style and Kanzaki showing up. Obviously, we don't want to give too much away for anybody that hasn't seen the series, but what's the next arc?
Hinagami, where they go to that school.
Right, exactly. So from this point, I started to feel like this was going to be another harem.
Yeah, same.
From that episode on. But then it like pulled a 180 on me, and I was sort of impressed with that.
It's a little bit of a harem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got Index, he's got Misaka.
Kanzaki, a little bit.
Sort of Kanzaki and Itsuya somewhere down the line. So, yes, but at the same time, no, because he's not concerned with that. Yeah. He's more like, okay, I need to save the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever way I can. So, Hinagami, not too important of an arc, I would say. It really just...
It was just there,
yeah, it just introduces this another character.
We can talk about Hinagami, and, like, she doesn't do much.
No, she's not that important, honestly, to the story. That's the thing. Is that it's kind of like this steady progression, just introducing new characters, and then it, like, blows up and introduces a whole lot more at some point. I think it was, like, a steady pace, slowly bringing us into understanding, like, Academy City as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I think that those were necessary steps. What's after Hinagami?
Misaka.
Okay, so this is the first really important arc.
This is probably the best arc of season 1.
Yes, so much so that it comes back up in Railgun.
Yeah.
And it's that Misaka, Makoto, best girl.
No, Kuroko's best girl.
Okay, fine. Well, that's arguable, but like generally speaking, we'll say Misaka. But she's a level 5 Esper. She's ranked third.
I think it's third. Yeah.
I think she's third in the city. So they have, obviously we mentioned this earlier, but they have this ranking system, and her ability is really cool because she can, anything that has to do with the electricity, she can basically manipulate, which is really cool because at some point you even see her like attach herself to metal, because she can create electromagnetic fields. But when she was a kid, she had her DNA taken from her, like basically copied,
but for good reasons. She wanted to help the world.
She wanted to help the world because apparently her DNA could like save people.
Yeah.
But they ended up making like thousands of clones of her. And for the sole purpose of turning a level 5 Esper into a level 6, which is essentially an angel.
Yeah.
And angels are a thing in this series. They're not like this fictional like imaginary celestial body or celestial being. They are real. They're a thing. So, but they're a lot more like brought down to earth, I feel. But yeah, they want to make an angel, and the character that they select for this task is the number 1 Esper in the city, known as Accelerator. Arguably the best character in the whole show.
He's up there.
Accelerator's definitely up there. It's like a toss-up between like...
He's very much more interesting than Toma.
Oh, he's way
like,
more interesting.
Infinitely more cool.
Yeah, so Misaka finds out that all of this is going on, and she wants to try to save who are now known as her sisters, essentially, all of the clones of her that are basically being used as like sacrificial lambs to Accelerator.
It's sad.
So yeah, it really is, because they are human.
Yeah.
As like robotic as they are.
We meet one and we're like get attached to them, and then they're murdered, and you're like crap. But then they all retain the memories.
Yeah, exactly.
So like they don't really die.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. And then Toma goes to fight Accelerator on Misaka's behalf.
Fantastic fight.
What a great fight! Probably the best of the series, honestly, up until season 2 at the very least. A great fight because you see Accelerator, who's like this like unstoppable guy. Like his ability is sick.
Yeah.
It's honestly sick. Vectors is ridiculous. Basically, he can change the vector of anything that he touches. So, if you don't know the way vectors work in physics, basically it's like the acceleration and like the velocity of like objects in movement.
Mm-hmm.
So he can tap a wall and it'll shatter if he wants to, because he can make it so that the point that he taps on just like is so much more accelerated than it actually is. Hence his name, Accelerator. But when he attacks Toma basically just has to evade all of his like non-direct attacks, and whenever he gets in close, whacks him in the face, and Accelerator cannot stop the punch because he can't use his vectors on Imagine Breaker. He stops Accelerator's ability. That's what makes this fight freaking awesome. And I think it's after this point that sort of that Accelerator sort of has like this redemption from this point on, and this is where you really start to like the character. After this point is that he realizes what he's done. He considers himself evil as a result, but he slowly starts to move toward like doing good and like not being a complete douchebag.
Yeah, and I think a great way for them to implement this is by introducing Last Order. Yeah, absolutely. Which is like, this is the combination of all you've done, and now he wants to redeem himself by taking care of like this little Misaka. Yeah,
essentially like like an 8 or 9-year-old
version
like
of herself.
Yeah, exactly.
And like protects her as much as he can.
Yeah, exactly. He even like gives up part of his ability and his livelihood to be able to save her, essentially, because she's gonna die. And if she dies, what happens is that the entire Misaka network, so all of those clones, they shut down. Yeah. So he wants to save them all as a result of like having killed thousands. Yeah. So and you're wondering, how could he have killed thousands? Well, it's because he had like 4 to 5 like training sessions a day. They sent like one clone after him like five times a day for like a whole year and a half. So he killed thousands. And so he saves Last Order, and you start to see him be like a more like, I don't know, he has a reason for living, I guess, other than just killing. Yeah. So
and becoming like level 6 Esper.
Yeah, exactly. He was used by Academy City. Yeah. Realistically, everybody in the series is used by Academy City. That's the thing, is that there's not anybody that's immune to Alistair. And Alistair is the character that sort of rules over Academy City, and he has like...
He's like the backwards angel guy?
Yeah, he's the upside down dude, exactly. He has like ultimate power over everything that happens in the city. He has full surveillance. He knows everything that's happening at every second. Mm-hmm. And basically nobody's like free from his control. Mm-hmm. So eventually I feel like the series will shift into like trying to take down Alistair. I don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
I was hoping season 3, but
yeah, no, it doesn't.
By the way you're talking, it doesn't look like it.
It doesn't. No.
Maybe Railgun will take him down.
Anybody could take him down realistically. I'm assuming more Toma because of what Toma is, but
yeah.
I won't get too much into that. But yeah. Anyway, so that's pretty much most of season 1.
Well, there's Angel Fall, which I really enjoyed.
You really like that arc, yeah.
It's just I really like beach settings, so like it feels comfy to watch.
Yeah.
And like it was nice seeing his parents.
Yeah.
And I actually thought Index was his mom the first time I saw it, because that had been a hilarious little inside joke. So I was a bit disappointed to realize that it wasn't.
No, it was just everybody was getting body swapped on the face of the earth. Nobody looked like themselves except for like I believe Toma and like Sushi Mikado. Were the only ones that were like not affected for some reason. But like even the president of like the U.S. and stuff, like everybody looked different than what they were. And they realized that it's the result of an angel being on Earth.
Yeah, being summoned by his dad, who like put a bunch of like talismans in like a specific order. It was
it was really weird, but
it was interesting. I found.
Yeah, and I don't think he did it on purpose.
No, it was just like oops.
Yeah, and I thought Sushi Mikado was like dead for sure. Because wasn't he gonna like sacrifice himself to like destroy the house or some shit?
He's sick. I like that character a lot.
Yeah, Sushi Mikado's awesome.
Hey there, Kami.
Voiced by Gray as well.
That's why I liked him so much.
Yeah, so that's a cool arc. We find out that Sasha Khrushchev is not actually Sasha Khrushchev. She's an angel. I think it's either Gabriel or it's one of them anyway.
And the last arc for season 1 is with Kazakiri and Sherry.
Yeah.
Which was like whatever. It was.
Well, Kazakiri is very important.
Yeah.
Kazakiri is the result of it's very confusing, but it's basically she's like an amalgamation of all of the leftover residue energy, what's called AM diffusion fields.
Something like that, yeah.
EM, electromagnetic diffusion fields. EM diffusion fields, and she's like basically like a culmination of all of the residue energy that comes from like imagining like Schrodinger's box, all the espers in Academy City. She's formed as a result, and she comes into existence as a result, and she's like a person, but she's also like essentially angel level with how powerful she is. So we get to meet her, and then like she disappears, I believe, at some point.
Yeah, at the end of
at the very end. Yeah, exactly.
But she's still kind of there, like protecting everyone.
Yeah, and I think Sherry was attacking the city because of something that had happened, like to her brother or something.
Oh, I forget.
Anyway, it's not too important, but Kazakiri is very important, and it's a necessary character, especially moving forward. Mm-hmm. So moving on to season 2.
Yeah. It's all about the nuns.
Yeah, it's a lot of we switch over to the magic side.
Yeah.
Because all of season 1 was pretty much all scientific, and then season 2 is like almost all magic.
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
How so?
Magic was like angels. We had to deal with angels. We had to deal with like.
Okay, yeah. Well, the angel arc, yeah, sure, angel fall.
Besides like Misaka, I think it mostly was just about
Misaka
like
Accelerator, right?
Yeah, and Angel Fall and Kazakiri were both like pretty much.
That's magic, right?
Yeah.
But there was also, what was the other one?
Hinigami.
Hinigami was scientific.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't magic related. That was definitely Esper related. Anyway, it was kind of like a mix of the two, but definitely season 2 just like completely shifts the magic.
All about the magic.
Which I didn't like, personally. I didn't like the fact that it shifted over to magic so much. Now, I don't like it. I don't hate it as much because I understand the direction that the story is supposed to be going, especially having watched season 3.
Well, I like that I love that the two titles like complement each other, like a certain magical index and then a certain scientific real.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it works. Like I was like, "Where's all the scientific stuff?" Like I don't understand much, and then I got all my explanation in the other series.
Yeah, in Railgun, which is far superior.
Yes,
we'll just say that right away. We're going to be a lot more excited about talking about Railgun for sure. But season 2 starts with With what arc?
That one episode about that guy.
Oh, that one's irrelevant. Next.
The nuns.
The nuns, yeah. Okay, so we have the Amoxa versus, I think it's the
Roman Catholic.
Roman Orthodoxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, the nuns are, like, super badass, first of all. They're also, like...
Crazy.
Yeah, they're insane.
And they're hunting down one specific nun.
Yeah.
I forget for the reason, though.
It's because she has something in her possession, I believe.
Isn't it like a cross or something?
Something. Anyway. The Amoxa are, like, after her.
Mm-hmm.
And the nuns are seeking, like, protection. And they go to like, Toma and Index and whatnot. So they look for help. And then, like, Toma, like, fights with the Amoxa, and it turns out the Amoxa are actually like the good guys here, and like the nuns.
Who would have guessed?
Are like whack, especially Agnes. Agnes is insane.
We got some sick fights.
Yeah, that was a cool arc.
I remember them stabbing themselves in the ears with pencils or something.
That was nuts, dude. What the? that was crazy. But yeah, that entire arc, not too memorable for me. That's the only thing, is that I don't remember too much about it. I wish I remembered more about it, because the Amoxa are pretty important, and so are definitely the Roman Orthodoxy is like super important.
Yeah.
So I believe Russia's also mentioned at some point in that.
Russia,
arc.
I don't.
Yeah, I know that Russia's also mentioned. But yeah, that's that arc, and then we have the sports festival, right?
No, Musujime.
Yeah. That's a little mini arc with Kuroko.
Yeah.
We're focusing a lot on Kuroko. She actually ends up in a wheelchair after that.
We're gonna talk about Kuroko a lot.
Oh yeah,
in Railgun.
In Railgun, yeah, we are. But she finds out that this new character Musujime is carrying around pieces of Tree Diagram, which is the satellite that basically controls everything that happens in Academy City as well. So it's like Alistair's like ace up his sleeve. The thing is that when Toma saved Index from having her memory wiped, there was a beam of energy that was shot out of his apartment and shot straight through the satellite Tree Diagram, and bits and pieces of it like fell everywhere, and Musujime happens to be in possession of these pieces, and it has something to do with Misaka, like Misaka's in danger or something, and Kuroko,
yeah, I think so, yeah,
and Kuroko's like trying to stop Musujime from like getting to her, essentially, and they both have the same ability, move point, which makes it for a very interesting fight. Kuroko ends up winning, if I'm not mistaken, and then Accelerator kicks the shit out of Musujime after, which I was like super happy about, because I didn't like her at first. I found her like a really nasty character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a little bit of it. We get a little bit of Kuroko because of that arc. And then I believe it's Sports Festival.
Now it's
right?
the festival, yeah, which is a great arc.
This is a great arc, honestly. A lot happens. A lot of Oriana's one part of it, but I believe there's also like when Toma's trying to keep something from happening and Misaka's like completely misunderstanding the situation, and they're like in the same event.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was.
It was a bunch of bombs that were going to go off or something.
Oh yeah, something like that. Anyway,
but that was due to Thompson.
Yeah, I think it was Oriana that put like one of her like papers on one of the
and then one of the students
poles.
Blows up instead.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's that, and then it's a lot of Oriana, and I can't remember what was it that she was carrying around. It was like a sword.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. It was a big weapon.
I thought it was like a frame or something.
Yeah, I have the like a square image in mind as well. But yeah, as well, again, this is the thing with Season 2 is that it's not super memorable for me, which is what made it difficult for me to jump into Season 3 as a result, is because I forgot a lot of the information.
Yeah.
Basically, all I remembered was, like, the last few episodes, because those struck me as, like, okay, this is basically, like, what's going to happen next. You have to pay attention to this. So, Sports Festival... It's a lot of fun, though. I think that the Sports Festival arc is just like a crap load of fun.
It's like a good 5 and 6 episodes, so like you're with it for a while.
And it's really funny.
Yeah, it is.
It's hilarious. It's one of the better comedy arcs of the season. And I think after the Sports Festival, they go to Venice, where again they see the nuns, right?
Yeah.
That's immediately after. They end up on the boat.
Yeah, so now the nuns are redeemed, and now...
Yeah, essentially. This happens with a bunch of characters. It's fairy tale all over again.
Yeah.
Every character that you hate ends up like coming back and being a good guy.
Yeah. Even like the super crazy nuns are good.
Yeah. And this happens even more in Season 3 as
well.
Boy. Like, it just keeps happening.
Great.
But yeah, so there's that. I didn't really like that boat arc.
It was alright. I just found it strange that they were in Venice.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite arcs, though. Honestly, I really didn't like it that much. And the thing is, a lot of like the magical items and like the premises of the arcs themselves are so forgettable for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember what the point of each arc was.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
What's the point of this ice boat? Like,
exactly. I can't remember. I know that like something has to that Toma has to hit something, but that's all I remember. I don't remember what he has to hit, why he has to hit it, just that he has to hit it. And this is a big problem that I have with the series is that it's up until season 3, because season 3 explains things a lot better at some point.
Okay, good.
But a lot of season 2, and this is why I initially had it as a 5 on my anime list, was that a lot of the points of the objectives of each arc, like the basically the conclusions, were so forgettable for me. Like, I didn't get the point until you get to the last arc, because the last arc is sort of the Kickstarter to
season 3.
It's a huge Kickstarter to season 3, and it's very memorable for me because everybody gets involved.
Yeah,
everybody's there. Like all of the magical community is like entering Academy City. You have people from the Right Seat of God, which is like Vento and Aqua, show up. We don't see a lot of Aqua, but we see mostly Vento. Like, obviously, Misaka, Accelerate, like, everybody's there.
Yeah.
Everybody is getting involved. Kazakiri returns, and that's like a big part of it, is that she's now like this massive angel wave in the center of the city, and like this huge event that happens in Academy City at the end of season 2 is basically kicks off World War III.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is insane. It's basically a race to see who's going to have the most power. Is it going to be the Roman Orthodoxy? Is it going to be the Russians? Is it going to be Academy City?
Yeah.
Like, it's this is what I mean by it's the anime multiverse, is that it focuses on so many different characters and so many different locations at the same time. At times it's hard to keep up with, and I think that's because it's an anime form. And I feel like the source material explains everything a lot better and really like digs into each section
I guess
better.
I could put my thoughts into right now.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time.
Yes.
Like I barely understand what happened in the series because so much happens. And you're like, who are these characters? Who are these characters? They don't really explain the alliances or like... Yeah. I don't remember the names of like the affiliations.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was so much in like 50 episodes.
That's the thing, is that it was so much crammed into 50 episodes that I felt like it could have been like 120 easily.
Yeah.
And that we would have gotten a lot more out of it. But part of the appeal of the series is the confusion, I feel.
Yeah.
Some of it, what makes me want to keep watching it is trying to get answers to questions that I feel should have already been answered, and like finding them through different routes. And that's why I keep watching, is like, okay, are they going to actually explain like what the point of this is? And season 3 actually does that pretty well.
Good.
The season itself creates more questions too, though, so it's like it's a little bit it's a give and take, lesser of two evils kind of thing. But what do you want? That's I guess that's just the direction that JC wanted to go with I'm assuming it's a very lengthy manga, and that's the issue.
It's like 26 volumes, I think.
But I'm sure there's a lot more information crammed in the manga than there is in the actual in the anime itself. However, not to take away from the fact that it is a good series. I do like it. Part of the reason that I just mentioned is that sort of the confusing things are what keep me like invested in wanting to understand better, wanting to understand the whole world as a whole better, and the characters. I think that's the big thing, and that's the thing that we're really going to dive into here right at the end of this episode is going to be the characters, and we're going to explore a little bit more of that when we get to the Railgun episode. But Toma, despite being boring, is still a good character and funny. Index.
I don't like Index.
I don't like Index.
I don't like Index at all.
Index is the only character that I can say is like completely useless outside of being like grimoires.
Like important to the story.
She's super important. She's integral, but she does nothing. All she does is eats
and like play with the cat.
Yeah, that's it with Sphinx. Misaka, fantastic character. Amazing character. She's the tsundere of the series.
Amazing voice actress.
Yes. Brittany Karbowski, great job on this character. For me, it used to be Wendy that came up in my mind. Now it's always Misaka.
Yeah, same.
Every time. Because I feel like she does this character super well. Kuroko, obviously. I'll actually leave like Misaka's friends to when we get to Railgun. Accelerator, incredible character. Love him.
Can't wait for his own series.
Yeah. Style and Kanzaki are good in their own right. Tsuchi Mikado is amazing. I love how he just pops in. He's like, "Hey, Kami."
Yeah, I know.
it's amazing.
I have no idea why he calls him Kami. It's hilarious.
Well, it's Kami Joe.
Okay.
Is his last name.
Because Kami means God, so like...
That's part of the reason you're going to find out in Season 3. His name actually has a meaning.
Okay.
Like his full name, and it's actually super important. But... Yeah, Tsuchi Mikado, awesome. Kanzaki and Style, we covered. Pretty much everybody from, like, that group, essentially the magic side, is pretty good, except for Index herself. And there's a lot of, like little one-off characters that are really awesome. Like, Alistair, for example, is, like, super mysterious, and you want to know more about him. Right?
Yeah.
And then there's Laura, who's the one that, like, gives Style the orders from, like, back in London. She's, like... She seems, like malicious as hell.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this lady?
Yeah.
All the time. I have so many questions. I've just realized, like, I have so many questions that have not been answered for this series, and I hope Season 3 answers some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
And, like, I don't know if it's concluding.
Yeah.
Is Season 3 the end?
No,
okay.
not at all.
Good.
Definitely not. No, there's way too much still to do.
Okay.
But, Season 3, like I said, it brings up its own problems as well. It creates it kind of digs itself its own hole, but at the same time, it answers some things that you wanted answered. Like, especially, like, what is this war? What is happening? What is this group that Ventos from, sort of thing? And it like, clears up a lot of that.
What's their goal?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And their goal is actually very interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's so simple, but you're like, oh, that's what they want.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a lot of it is the characters for me, and I feel like the characters are like super strong, and they're what hold the series together. Because if it wasn't for the characters, I don't think the series would even be worth watching.
Agreed.
But it's because of them and how interesting they are, and you want to see what happens with them. Like, I personally want to see a fight with Toma, Misaka, and Accelerator. Top 3, obviously.
All working together.
3. Yeah, where they all fight the same common enemy.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I just want to bring up something that from the last arc we didn't talk about was like that Toma and Accelerator work together, but never
it's
cross
like a
together.
Little one-off thing where
they're like
helping.
They're calling each other and they're talking to each other, but they don't know it's them.
Yeah, which I find kind of annoying in anime when that happens, because it's like you should recognize the person's voice to some extent.
But they've only fought like once.
True, but at the same time, like it was a pretty important fight.
You think Accelerator really is paying attention to some like wannabe?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. For me, I feel like it's like a lot of the voice, like Japanese voices, sound similar.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is. Whereas like when it comes to like English dubbing, which is obviously what we watched it in.
Well, this could be different for Japanese people listening to English stuff. So like.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like I think that the voices are easily distinguishable enough between Toma and Accelerator, and they're like original enough to where you'd be able to hear it. But I guess it's
have some disbelief.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. But yeah, no. Like I said, I think it really is the characters that holds the series together. But you were mentioning that last little arc where they're both helping Misaka's mom.
Yeah, that was an awesome scene.
Yeah,
because you're like, are they gonna fight? Are they gonna fight?
Yeah,
or like
it was a cool
meet up
one-off episode.
Yeah.
Also, there's a character that's introduced in the last 3 episodes of season 2 that ends up being like super important in season 3 for no fucking reason. His name's Hamazura, and he's the dude that Toma fights randomly before he gets into the building. I'll show you a picture of him after. But like, I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He seems completely relevant. I think he was like with the group that was like trying to fight for level 0s.
Okay.
I think it's anti-skill.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, anti-skill. Something like that. Is it anti-skill? No, I think they have another name. I think anti-skill is like the defense force that works with judgment.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, it's not anti-skill. It's something else. But
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Those it was like the last 2 episodes, and he was like one of the leaders of the group essentially, and then like Toma fights him, and then you're like, okay, well he's not going to be important. And then he ends up being super important. All of a sudden.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird, but yeah. So that's that. The last 2 episodes are really just like setting up for season 3.
Yeah,
that's all they are. They're just setups for season 3, which took forever for us to get. But now that we actually have it,
well, not for us.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it took like 6 months. For you, it was like
out.
You can jump out. You can jump on it whenever you want at this point. But yeah, that's A Certain Magical Index. Like
decent series.
Yeah, the thing is that I watched it a long time ago. It's almost been a year now. So, and already that the arcs are forgettable. The fact that I had to try to remember everything during this episode is tough enough.
It's been 3 months that I forgot everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also binged it like crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing with this series, guys, is if you're gonna jump into it, don't expect anything super memorable. But it's a very interesting series, regardless, and it's got great characters. Probably, like, I love Accelerator and Misaka so much that, like, they come to mind before the series does when I think about, like, great characters, you know?
Yeah.
Or, like, great series. So, yeah, that's A Certain Magical Index. We're just waiting to click stop recording so that we can start on A Certain Scientific Railgun, because I gave that series a 9.
Yeah, same.
On both seasons. Mm-hmm. So, I think that series is fantastic. It's a spin-off series of A Certain Magical Index, but it's better.
Yeah.
Like, way better. So we'll dive into that in the next episode, but let us know what you guys thought of the series. If there was anything that we weren't clear on, like as far as like information that you guys know that we may have gotten incorrect, or that maybe we wanted answers to but had already been answered, but we weren't paying attention or something.
Yeah.
Then let us know in the comment section down below. It's always interesting to hear your guys' take on it, or what you took away from the series, maybe things that we didn't understand. So definitely do that. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we will catch you guys on the next exciting episode of the A Certain series. Railgun coming next.
Another Weeboo Hole.
Ciao.
You're welcome.